Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So, if you connect with this, it will connect? Okay. Let me try putting it on a hotspot then. Okay, it's connected now. So, how do you bring it here? Okay, I think you will chant the pranam mantras. Did you connect? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam. Everybody together. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shoke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for having me here for discussing very esoteric topic, which actually I'm not qualified to speak, and I don't have any realization which I'm going to share, but whatever I've read, whatever I've heard, will speak from that. So I'll do my best to do justice to this topic. Okay, we will do some technical problems, so we are just sorting it out. Bring the verses. Okay. So let's read the verse while we do that. You will start the Gmail. Okay. Okay. So, anybody here who's hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for the first time? Anybody? Everybody has heard Bhagavatam? You have seen Bhagavatam? Okay, wonderful. Everybody has seen Bhagavatam. Very nice. Okay, so basically, what we are going to do is that, this Srimad Bhagavatam is core of this Hare Krishna movement. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, these two scriptures are very core of Hare Krishna movement, which was established by Srila Prabhupada ji in 1966. And it's been more than 50 years. The organization is just growing more and more. We have more than 1,000 temples, farm communities, schools, ashrams, world over. And whichever city you land in, you will find Hare Krishna devotee there. I don't think there is any city where devotee doesn't live. So our primary focus is to chant the mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And serve Lord Krishna. So that is our mission. Today we are going to speak on a very esoteric topic, which might confuse to newcomers. Right? There may be a lot of questions that may arise in your mind, but we'll try to do justice. Yeah. And see whatever question that we can answer. If we don't have an answer, we will wait for tomorrow's class and we'll get the answers tomorrow. But let's begin. So let's read the translation. Let's read from verse number 22. So we can bring it down. 22 to 28. Okay. Let's start from 1 year like that.
Text 22. Although the gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their mollusk, ridiculed and made to act just like toy dolls. And although their clothes had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Sri Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved.
The gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they became captivated by him. Thus, even after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained where they were, shyly glancing at him.
The Supreme Lord understood the determination of the gopis in executing their strict vow. The Lord also knew that the girls desired to touch his lotus feet, and thus Lord Damodara, Krishna, spoke to them as follows.
Yeah, could you read?
Lord Krishna said, O saintly girls, I understand that your real motive is this austerity has been to worship me. That intent of yours is approved by me, and indeed it must come to pass.
The desire of those who fix their minds on me does not lead to material desire for sense gratification. Just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer grow new sprouts.
Go now, girls, and return to your desire is fulfilled, for in my company you will enjoy the coming nights. After all, this was the purpose of your law, to worship Goddess Katyani, of pure-hearted ones.
Sukadeva Goswami said, thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the young girls, their desire now fulfilled, could bring themselves only with great difficulty to return to the village of Raja, meditating all the while upon his lotus feet.
Hare Krishna. So now let's go and see. So this, okay. This turn it on? Hare Krishna.
20.
No, 26. We don't need this now. No, just PVD. Okay. Sorry for little technical glitches. It happens sometimes. And we have to live with it. Thank you. Thank you, Rohan Prabhu, for helping with this. Okay. So today, we will dive into this particular topic, and our focus is verse number 26. But we need to understand the whole pastime. Even if you read in a piece basis, if you don't understand the whole pastime, it becomes very difficult to absorb and say why something like this happened, right? So here we are talking about one important point. The today's takeaway that we have is here, is attraction to Krishna purifies lust. Lust means desires, right? So any desire that we have, it gets purified if we absorb in Krishna. That is the point. And how we do that? Gopis are teaching us that, right? It looks very awkward to see and awkward, because this topic is like that, when outsider hears, what are you talking? Brahmacharis are making notes of this classes and you are discussing, what is all this? There's a lot of confusion, So, in fact, when Britishers came in India, they were establishing in West Bengal. And when they saw that how the goddess Durga is being worshipped, or Lord Krishna is stealing and they are worshipping him like that, they thought, what is this kind of, they are very degraded people. Our religion is much better. That's what they were thinking. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to write a paper to clarify all this. And obviously at that time, the Hare Krishna, not the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, was actually declining. It was not visible. But he made a paper and then it became again revived, and we can see the how it is happening today. All right. So that's what happens. Now let's look at this one. Okay, I have to use this. Technical problems. You can see this? Yeah. So let's go to the background first, right? So we may think that how come this topic is coming in the whole Bhagavatam, which is supposed to be Amala Purana, right? Because this is Nigama Kalpataru Palitam Galam. Is how can something like this comes up? That question will come in the mind of anybody who reads this pastime. But this is, we have to make our way to this canto. If you are directly jumping into this canto, we'll be confused, utterly confused. We will not understand anything in it. First, we need to understand who Krishna is. That's what the first to ninth canto does. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Evam veveti tattvataha. Means if you do not understand me as in a tattva, you cannot understand him and you cannot go back. So here we need to understand the background. Like here, after speaking the 9th canto, then Sukadeva Goswami enters into 10th canto. There also he speaks about Krishna's birth, his killing of demons, all these things. And then he comes here. Okay? So it is not that suddenly he is jumping. And who is talking? Somebody is about to die in few days. Because these topics, when he's talking, it's, I think, end of 5th day or beginning of 6th day. That's where this topic comes up. And Parikshit Maharaj was dying next 2 days because he was to live for 7 days only. And who are talking? Somebody who can speak 24/7 and somebody who can hear 24 hours. These two people are speaking. That means this is definitely not a mundane subject. Because so far, Sukadeva Goswami has spoken so much nectar. And suddenly when this comes up, suddenly our minds get agitated. That why this coming in? Why something like this is happening? Isn't it? That happens. So we'll try to answer that. Few days ago when I was about to give class, I was talking to another senior devotee and we were discussing what to speak and all that. I also need a guidance, so I was speaking. And this is like, first 9th canto is like, 10th canto is like your dessert. Like, 1 to 9 canto is your puri, sabji, roti, dal, bhat, all those. So you eat that. And then you eat dessert, so you can relish it. And what is 11th and 12th canto? They are like your mukhwas, so your digestion. So you need all of that to understand the whole Bhagavatam. It's not easy to understand Bhagavatam just like that. If you start opening, of course it is like you read from anywhere, you will understand that. But to understand Bhagavatam, especially these topics, especially 10th canto, we need guidance from Guru, senior sadhu, Guru, sadhu, shastra. Without that, these cannot be understood. It's very difficult. Even for devotees who are practicing for many years, the confusion still arises in their mind that why this topic comes up and what's happening here. But we should not get confused because Prabhupada has been very kind. He has written such wonderful purports. He has included the Acharya's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Jiva Goswami, Baldev Vidyabhushan, and of course Srila Prabhupada himself writes in the whole Krishna book where he writes so much details. So we definitely have to make our way through this because some people in the fifth canto and itself they will get confused because there the creation is described, Jambudvip and all that, and people get, how can you have a golden mountain like this big, and it's unfathomable. So if you don't understand even that subject, and if you don't believe in case something like this could exist, which is there, but it is beyond our understanding, therefore we think that it doesn't exist. But it is there. Therefore, someone who could create something like that, right, he is supreme. And therefore, his leelas are also very divine, and it's very difficult to understand unless we are trying to reach to that platform with pure heart. If our heart has any anomaly, then we will not understand these topics. So with that, let's go into this. So, yeah, here. And one more thing, just remember one thing about all these gopis that are there, all this pastime, this happened. If you remember in Ramayana, when Lord Ram was in Dandakaranya forest, all the sages had a desire to have Lord Ram as their husband. They had a desire. Ram says, I am Ekapatni Vrata in this yuga. Maybe I will fulfill your desire in the Dwapar Yuga. So those sages, they also become a gopis here. So in this pastime, there are two types of gopis. One gopi set is Nitya Siddha gopis, right? Led by a gopi called Dhanya. And other gopis are the gopis or the sages who had a desire to have Lord as their husband. So both are there. And what happens? We'll see that. So we are going to talk about these 6 verses. We read the translation, so I'm going to skip this and we'll go straight into that. So I'm going to explain few things in this whole chapter because then the jumping onto the 26 verse will become easy for us to go. So, yeah. Yes. So in the first verse, Sukdev Goswami says that he uses the word Nanda Vraja Kumarikaha. So Kumarika means somebody who is about 5 years of age. That's called Kumarika, right? 5-6 years. Those are called Kumarika. So when these incidents happened, they were of that age. So very tender, very young age, right? And in which month they were doing this Katyayani Vrat? In the Margashish month. Margashish is like November, December. The beginning of winter is Margashish month. Because in Margashish month is also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Masanam Margashishoham. He says, in the month, I am the Margashish. And they are doing this Vrata. What kind of Vrata is this? They wake up early in the morning, they take bath in Yamuna, in the Brahma Muhurta, then they will worship the Katyayani Devi, and they will eat very simple prasad. What is that? Like khichdi, with no spices. Just khichdi, only salt. Anybody who can eat for 1 month just like that? Very difficult. It's austerity. So they are doing this austerity so much. What is their desire? It is mentioned in the 4th verse. It says 4th verse, they say that Nanda Gopa Sutam Devi Patim me kurute namaha. He says, we want Krishna as our husband. They have a desire that we want. In the earlier days, they call it child marriage, but at that time what happens is very young child, boy and girl, their parent will agree that this family is good and we should get them married. So they will get them married. But they don't stay with each other. They go back to their home and stay, and they keep doing whatever they have to do. They come for functions and understand. So they develop the relationship over a period of time. And when they mature, they come and stay together. That was the system. And it was working pretty well. Right? But here, gopis had a desire that Patim me kuru te namaha. They are saying, we want Krishna as our husband. Now they have a desire. So, one learning is here. What is the learning for all of us? Whom they are worshipping? Katyayani Devi. She is a demigod. Right? So why gopis are worshipping Katyayani, Mother Katyayani? The reason is that even if we worship any demigod, what should be our intention? Intention is to achieve Krishna Prem. That should be our intention. Intention is not to have material desire. That okay, give me health, give me money, give me job, give me PR. That's not our desire. Many times this is what happens. I was in US and somebody told me there is a temple in Hyderabad, Telangana. It's called Visa Balaji. So where, if you don't get visa, you go there and your visa gets approved. It's so popular. Somebody from Hyderabad here? Anybody? Nobody. But it is like that. That's what I've heard. I've not seen, but that's what I've heard. So people go with that desire and it gets fulfilled. But that's all temporary because we are asking for what? Material thing, which is there today, tomorrow is going to go. So what are we asking for? Right? It's like building a castle on the sea beach. One wave comes and gone. Our desires are like that. So, in the beginning, when devotee begins to do sadhana, they start living that, I am Krishna's. My Krishna kahu, I am Krishna's. But as they become very strong and staunch in that, yes, Krishna is mine. So gopis had that desire that Krishna is ours. He is not another one. So they had, only when you have strong love, then you say, this is mine. So devotee also desire. But this, Krishna is mine, is not something that we should just superficially speak about. Because if you just superficially speak about it, it will look like a sahajiya bhav, where you have not realized, but we are still thinking, I am a gopi and moving around that. And that's not correct. Okay? So that's what is happening here. Now, in fact, in one of the discussions, Prabhupada says that the goal of Krishna conscious movement is to be in the party of Radha and Krishna. We should be in the party of Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna's dance party. Prabhupada would say in the Western world at that time. Right? So that's what has happened. Now, when they were taking bath, what happened? Krishna came, and Krishna came with other gopas. How old they were? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in the purport here, in the 8th verse, they were like toddlers, 2 year, 3 year, they can't even speak properly. They were there with Krishna. And all this age group, they couldn't recognize, identify themselves that they are man or woman. They had no understanding of that yet. That sense is not developed with them. Right? So that's what they are. Who are the names? So Dama, Sudama, Vasudama and Kinkini. These are the toddlers who were there with Krishna in this pastime. So what did they do? They took out all the clothes of the gopis and he went on the tree, Kadamba tree, which was the bank of Yamuna. And then he started calling the gopis, hey, I have your clothes. What are you doing there? And then suddenly see, their clothes have gone. And they become little agitated, also feel little embarrassed that their clothes have gone. So they are playing discussion with Krishna, saying that, oh, give it back. Why? Because they are our clothes. Krishna says, no, there's a, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a lot of discussion points that how gopis are trying to convince Krishna to return the clothes. That please give it. But Krishna doesn't budge. So now gopi feels that now we have no choice. Right? So Krishna tells them to come out and pick up the clothes one by one. Now this is a very embarrassing moment for any woman. because a woman is always undressed only in front of her husband, nobody else. But here, but what is their desire? Their desire was to have Krishna as their husband. So Krishna knew that desire. Krishna knew that desire. So Krishna never wanted to see them like that, but he wanted to fulfill that desire as a husband. Okay, you want to be my wives? Then let's do this. That's why he plays this pastime. Other thing is that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam ekam sharanam raja. What he says? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Give up all the dharmas, all religion. This also includes lajja dharma. This also includes that. That means that if we are still identifying ourselves with the body, then we'll be conscious about it. Isn't it? If we are identifying ourselves with the body, then we are going to be telling, yes, this is who I am. I am a man, I am a woman, I am a boy, I am a girl. But Krishna says, no. Unless you give up everything, that means you completely surrender to me and you do exactly what I say, then I will accept. Now it doesn't mean it will happen to everybody. Don't think like that. Okay? This is a very esoteric, very high level pastime. But that's what Krishna is trying to teach us. That without surrendering to him 100%, not even 99%, not even 99.99%, not possible. We will not get Krishna. Now question will come, when we are doing so much, we are chanting, we are doing Ekadashi, today is Ekadashi. We are chanting, we are doing Ekadashi, we are eating only prasad, we are waking up early in the morning, we are doing Mangalarti, all this is waste. Will we not get Krishna? No, we will get Krishna if our desires are pure. If our intentions behind those desires are pure, then we can get Krishna. Because if we want to elevate ourselves, our consciousness, then definitely we need to do all this. So here, one more point is mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is that he says that gopis are telling Krishna that we are doing this vrata with the approval of our parents. That means they knew that they are doing this to achieve Krishna as their husband. So there was an approval also of their family. So they are not doing out of their own whimsical thinking that we want to do this. It is not like that. And then they are also telling Krishna that if you don't give it back, we will go to complain to king. Now which king is it? Let's talk about two kings. One is Nanda Maharaj, and if he doesn't do anything, then we'll go to Kamsa, like that. Krishna said, doesn't matter, you do whatever you like. I have no problem. So he does that. And then gopis also tell, we are like your maid servant. So we will do whatever you say, but you first give the clothes back to us. He says, if you are my maid servant, then why you do exactly what I say? Right? That's what he says. And then gopis understood that Krishna is not going to leave them. There is the back and forth happens, but Gopi always wanted Krishna as her husband, so Krishna is just trying to fulfill the desires of the gopis. Now here, in the verse 19, Krishna also tells them to beg forgiveness from the demigod Varuna, saying that because you bathe without clothes, normally we should not enter water body without clothes. In fact, when we are bathing also, normal bathing in homes or wherever we are, we should be having some clothes on always. We should never bathe without clothes. That is a shastric praman. So that otherwise it's an offense. It's an offense to the water body. So we should take care of that. Right? So from the text 20, the three learning that we talked about the Sarva Dharma and Parityajya, that and it's also mentioned in the purport by a disciple of Srila Prabhupada ji, that until we give up 100% surrender to Krishna, we will not get Krishna. Third thing is that, second thing Krishna wanted to teach through gopis is that when we come in front of our Guru or Krishna, then we should not hide anything. We should not have anything that is hidden from our Guru. So this is a teaching which is Krishna is giving through this pastime. Because many times we go to Guru and say, Guru will ask, okay, how are things going on? Oh, I'm able to follow 2 regular principle, not following about 2. Also, since when you are chanting 16 rounds? I think I have lost track for last 2 years. I've not been able to do so. Like, we should be honest. Now we may be reprimanded for that. Arey, you are not doing it, you take initiation. But in either way, it is good for us. See, if you have a disease, you have to go to a doctor, right? Doctor says you have to do a surgery. Yeah, we have to do it. If you don't do it also, we are going to suffer. But if he does it, it's even better. We'll get cured. So when Guru chastises, it's going to benefit us. So therefore, when Krishna is teaching through Gopi's pastime, that when we are in front of him or in front of Guru, we should not hide anything. In fact, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj says that if a disciple lies to Guru, that means he can do any immoral thing in the world. Because to lie to your spiritual master, you need to bring down your moral value so low that later on you end up doing anything and you think it's okay. It becomes like that. That's why you see today, many people do so many abominable work and they don't feel regret that, oh, this has happened. No, don't feel. Primary reason is this, that their moral value has gone so low, so down, they are not able to distinguish right and wrong. So there are the 3 teachings which Krishna tells here in this particular verse. Then, in the many times we might get confused that why did Gopi do this? So when Krishna tells them to bow down to Varuna and beg forgiveness, Gopi did not care that we should beg forgiveness from Varuna. They were not interested. Why did they comply? They comply because Krishna told them to do so. That means they were completely surrendered to Krishna and following Krishna's instruction as it is, saying, okay, whatever you do, we'll do it. Initially they were hesitant, they were feeling embarrassed, but they understood that Krishna's intention is very different. It is not to embarrass them. It is to accept them as his wives. So therefore this incident has happened. Now let's come to this verses that we are going to talk today. So in the purport of the verse 22, so let me recite this verse so that we can understand what is there. Okay, verse is here. Okay, we can lead and follow. 26. Namaya vesita diyam kama kamaya kalpate varjita kvathita dana prayo bijaya neshate. Can someone please read translation? Go on, Prabhu.
The desire of those who fix their minds on me does not lead to material desire for sense gratification. Just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer grow into new sprouts.
Jai, thank you. So, while we go into these words, we also need to understand that gopis completely surrender to Krishna. Now, what is the verse in Shikshastram which calls about complete surrender? Anybody remembers? The 8th verse of Shikshastram. And Prabhupada writes, his disciple writes the translation as it is in the purport of verse 22. That Krishna, even if he do not present us and you just hide somewhere, it's okay. Even if you handle me roughly, I have no problem. I will not leave you. This is complete surrender. Complete surrender doesn't mean when we are comfortable and somebody is taking care, we are surrendering. And as soon as some discomfort comes, then we are gone. No, that's not surrender. Surrender means in any circumstances, we will not leave Krishna. So, for example, devotee come in Krishna consciousness and they face so many challenges, right? It could be financial challenges, health challenges, relationship challenges. All this thing comes in devotee's life also. They are no different. But they understand that the higher principle is to continue, take this trouble. Trouble as a benediction, that Krishna is taking away my karma and purifying me by through these difficulties, so I can go back to him. Devotee's life also miseries comes. Devotee's life also challenges comes. All this comes. But devotee sees that as a benediction. Don't see as a real trouble in their life. So that's a devotee. So that's what Krishna has is there in this verse. And in verse 24, word Damodar is used. See, various words are used. So here Damodar word is used specifically to indicate that in the Damodar Leela, first Krishna steals and then he gets bound. Right? In this word, in this particular topic, what happened? First Krishna is bound by the love of gopis, then he steals. So this is the difference between these two Leela. Now, in the verse 26, let's go through this detail because this is important for us to understand. There are 4 teachings that we can get. Okay? Now here the word is used that the barley seeds are burnt. Now any seed which is burnt or cooked, can it grow? It cannot grow. It cannot grow. So here the example is given by Sudha Goswami that like we fry or cook a seed and then they don't look different, they look same, but they won't grow. They cannot grow. Similarly, when we completely surrender to Krishna, right, our desire may come because past memories are there. Desire will not go. See, as long as we are in this body, desire will be there. The seed of desire, seed of lust will still remain. It is very difficult to give away, not possible. It is almost impossible to give away lust. The only thing we could do is to dovetail that into service of Krishna and purify that. How? By surrendering to Krishna. So, here Krishna says in this particular verse that when we chant, our desire purify. When we chant, our desire purifies. Many times we feel, Prabhuji, we are chanting for so many years, nothing is happening. Because we keep committing so many offenses. There are so many offenses described in Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami. One offense is that when we see a Vaishnava, when we see a devotee, if you don't smile, if you don't feel happiness in your heart, then it's an offense. Now we know that we don't feel happy every time, isn't it? When we see someone, it's so difficult. So we have to overcome this slowly, and definitely we'll get taste someday. But yes, if we chant very sincerely, our desire get purified, and we will not have these kind of desires. Now, just think about this. Gopis were thinking about Krishna all the time. Means they were absorbed in Krishna's thought. Not just for this period. They were absorbed for the whole life. Since they saw Krishna, they were absorbed in him. So obviously they were purified already. That means the desire they had in their heart was not impure. It was pure desire. It was very pure desire. And now, what they are saying, that will, question to all of you, will a person who has got a pure heart would like to have a relationship with somebody who's impure? No. So Gopi had a pure heart. So when they want to have a relation with Krishna, obviously Krishna is pure, therefore they want to have a relationship. Nobody wants to have a relation with somebody who's impure. Nobody. So that means thinking about that, why Krishna did this and all that, it is just to fulfill the desire of the gopi, that gopis wanted him as his husband. And to teach all of us that until we completely surrender to Krishna, we cannot get him. We cannot have Krishna. But many times people talk about this topic and say, oh, this Bhagavatam brings all this nonsense topics and all that, therefore we should not read it. That means those have not understood Srimad Bhagavatam completely. They don't even have a little bit of bhakti in them. That's why they speak like this. Because Bhagavatam is not something that we can understand just by reading. It has to be studied under the guidance of the spiritual master. We all are reading this because Srila Prabhupada ji wrote this. His disciple wrote this. So we are reading it. So it is authentic to read like this. But when we have confusion, we can go to senior devotee and ask those questions. But reading on our own and creating those fantasies in our mind is not good. It's not correct way of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. It will only do more harm to us than purify us. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada's disciple writes, I'll just read the purport. The word Maya Veshita Dhyam are very significant here. Unless one has achieved an advanced degree of devotion, one cannot fix the mind and intelligence on Krishna, since Krishna is pure spiritual existence. Self-realization is a state not of desirelessness, but rather of purified desire, wherein one desires only the pleasure of Lord Krishna. The gopis were certainly attracted to Krishna in a mood of conjugal love, and yet, having fixed their minds and indeed their entire existence completely on Krishna, their conjugal desire could never manifest as material lust. Rather, it became the most exalted form of love of Godhead ever seen within the universe. How amazing it is. This reminds me of one pastime. See, when you meditate on Krishna, all our desires become purified, right? So that reminds me of pastime from Ramayana. In Ramayana, when Ravana trying to kidnap Mother Sita, so he was given an advice that why did you take a form of Ram and then go and it's easy. You can say, come on Sita, let's go for a ride and then you can bring her. Ravana said, no, I cannot do it. He says, why? But if I utter the name of Ram, if I become like a Ram, that means I have to meditate on him, that I want to become like him. And as soon as I do that, my lust desire will go away. So I cannot kidnap her. He said, this idea is bogus. I cannot use this. So you can imagine that just by taking the name of the Lord, just by thinking that Krishna is like this, if our intention, our desires are getting purified, how can the gopi who were doing this vrata for 1 full month, of course they were doing for longer, but this was 1 month vrata. And this was the last day of the Katyayani Vrat, right? And that's why they were taking bath. And obviously that means it is not the lust in their mind at all. It is completely pure love. But it is difficult to understand from the outside that how come this is love. Because we have not yet experienced that. Now, let us understand from this, there are a few points in this. Okay? So 4 teachings are coming here. So what he says, bhakti does not... Okay, let's read one by one and then understand all these points. Okay? So bhakti does not erase the personhood, it purifies desire. Means it does not lose, we don't lose our identity as who we are. But our identity, our desires are getting purified. When we meditate on Krishna, our identity gets purified by chanting, by meditating on Krishna. And this is how we don't lose our identity. We remain who we are, but we become different. We become pure, right? Then we have attraction is transformation. When our attraction towards Krishna or anything else in this world gets transformed. When we see beautiful thing, what happens? We want to enjoy. But when we see beautiful thing, we say, how can we use this in the service of Krishna? We are not trying to become a bhokta. We don't want to enjoy things. We want to serve Krishna with whatever that we have, right? So instead of having, anything that we see becomes like my pleasure. This is my, I want to enjoy, I want to have this. But when we get into this process of understanding Krishna, purifying our consciousness, then it becomes, how can I please Krishna? What can I do to please Krishna? That's what comes in. And then we just talked about this, that all the roasted seeds, right? Means our old impulses may come. Just because we become devotee doesn't mean the thoughts will not come. It will still come, it will haunt us. But if we are fixed in our Krishna consciousness, then those thoughts become purified. And we'll talk about this, how to overcome these thoughts. We have the few things which will come up here. Then we'll see how to overcome them. Because this is a practical problem. Because we need to understand how do we apply this in our mind or our own life. Because right now we are thinking from a philosophical point of view. But how do we make it practical? That also is important. Just understanding philosophy doesn't help. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So, and it is not like we don't have to hate ourselves. Oh, I'm fallen, I'm doing this and all that. Yeah, we can feel that, but we really feel it, then it's fine. But some people just keep telling, Prabhu, I'm very fallen. But they may not really feel like that. We have to feel it. So it is not like, self-hatred, that, oh, I am such a fallen person, what can I do? Right? But it is a very sacred reorientation of our thoughts and desires. So basically what we are saying, okay. So self-realization is not about becoming a desireless. We will not have, it doesn't mean desireless, we have to become desireless, right? But it is always to have desire which are pure, through which we can please Krishna, right? So bhakti means, it doesn't mean we have to impute our heart, remove the desires or feelings and all that. No, it is not. It is not. We should never feel like that. But it should be to recenter our heart in such a way that we are ready to serve Krishna. That should be our thought process. Now let's understand the difference between love and lust, because this is very beautifully defined in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so let's read this. Okay, I think we'll read in the interest of time, maybe we'll just read the translation. So we can read, maybe, Vishesh Prabhu, can you read? One? Yeah.
Translation. Lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures.
Yeah, Himanshi Prabhu next.
The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust, but the desire to please the senses of Lord is prema, love.
Yeah, so here they talk about the difference between a gold and the iron. So prema is like a gold, the lust is like a iron. There is a huge difference between these two. You won't pay 200,000 rupees to buy gold now. It's very expensive, right? And similarly, here says that the desire to gratify our own senses, like, we want something, as Dwarkanath Prabhu made some nice rasgulla, and we say, Prabhuji, I will take one. No, it's not offered. And it's okay, Prabhuji. No, that's not. That means we want to enjoy. First let Krishna enjoy. When it's offered, become prasadam, then we take it. We know the story of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He did not eat mango for the whole life, just because at a very young age he had a desire to eat mango which was not even offered. So think about this. This is the stature of our acharyas, how amazing they are. So we should learn from their lives. So let's read further. Okay, Mataji, can you read?
The object of lust is only the enjoyment of one's own senses, but love caters to the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, and thus it is very powerful.
Yeah, very good.
Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun.
Chai, thank you. So here, it is very important point which are mentioned here, that when we are trying to enjoy our own senses, that is lust, regardless of what it is. But when we are trying to satisfy the desires of Krishna, then that becomes a love. Our thinking should be that, okay, I'm doing this service. Will it please Krishna or will I get glorification? See, think about it. It's very subtle. I'm doing this seva. People should appreciate me. As soon as they see this, oh, this Mataji did this, Prabhu did this seva. That's what happens. Certainly we might be thinking about this. I did seva, I need some recognition. Somebody should tell me. These are like desire. But when at the stage when we are purified, then the desire doesn't come. Then we say, you just want to serve. If there's a criticism, we take it, improve. If there's a positive feedback, we thank Krishna to helping us to serve him. That's how it is. We don't take any credit, no glorification, because that is a sure shot fall down. So therefore, they are two different things. Lust is like a darkness, and the love is like a bright sun. So we can see the difference between the love and the lust here very clearly. So here we can see that very clear distinction based on these 4 verses that we read is that lust means I want to enjoy, prem means I want to please Krishna. Always we should have this kind of thought, whatever we are doing. And then other person becomes an object of sense gratification for when there is a lust. And here, what happens? We become the servant in the service of Krishna. Whatever is there, we will do that. Menial service, any service, no problem with that. In this, the heart becomes restless. I want this. If I don't get it, I am getting agitated. That's what the lust happens. When we desire, then it doesn't come, then we become agitated. But here what happens? We become very humble. Even if we get recognition, we are humble. We are serving Krishna. That's our point. We are not doing anything else. And then here, it is complete darkness. Here we talk about the sunlight. Though no illusion in our mind. So now, how to make this practical in our life? We all have these challenges. So, what are the pulls in this world? Like I have this crush, right? We all have this problem, crush, right? From any age. Now the crush starts very early also. Then comparison. We do comparison. Oh, he sings nice. He gets more opportunity. I don't get it. She plays nice mridang. I don't know. There is a comparison which we start doing. Then there is a fantasy. You know, when we enjoy the most anything, do you know? Anything that is there, when we enjoy the most. Yes, ma'am.
Right before we have it, like in the dreamy kind of state.
Yeah. It could be car, it could be your phone, it could be anything. You are ordering something Govinda's, you know, and then it's not yet come. You enjoy the most in your mind at that time because you are like thinking, oh man, I'm going to have this, you know. You know, there is a story. Once, you know, they made a cake. I think Gaurang Prabhu mentions this one in one of our classes. They made a cake, and it was like everybody saying, "This is amazing. I'm going to have," and everybody is looking for a big piece of cake because that looks so beautiful. The cake was absolutely stunning, and they were like thinking, "I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this corner. I'm going to have this because it's got more cream." And all were thinking like this, and they took it, and at the first bite, what they realized, there was no sugar in it. So, you know, immediately the fantasy that they had that I'm going to have this enjoy suddenly went into a sadness. What is this? So you enjoy the most until the thing is with you. That's it. So that's what happens. So fantasy is like that. Then validation of hunger. Yes, we validate. Yes, I need it. I have to have it. I want to have iPhone 17. It's a new version. I must have it. Why I cannot have new one? Even if it's beyond my means, I will still have it. Like we validate. No, because I send so many messages, you know, I need it. I work so hard. I need to take pictures, you know, morning Mangalarti pictures and all that. I need to have that high pixel camera. We validate all the desires. This is the current state that we have. And then it's like a dopamine scroll, one after another, keep coming, right? We thought we are seeing Kirtan, we are seeing some Maharaj's clip, but suddenly something else comes, mind gets diverted, and then we start seeing that. And mind feels very happy, and hours goes in that. So what we should do? So these are the problems that we practically face. I also face some of this, so there's nobody is an exception here. Everybody is somewhere in this facing. So we need to recenter the heart, where what we should do, we should hear the Krishna Katha every day. Not a single day should pass where we have not heard Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha purifies. Then we have to chant when the mind spikes. Suddenly mind wants something. Immediately bring it down, saying that no, that's not right. Let's do something. Chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because these kind of impulses, they are very like a wave. They just come and they go away. But if you cling to that wave, then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. We just should let it pass. That moment, it is only the momentary thing. If you give in at the time, then very difficult to overcome. So we need to make sure we don't do that. Then, when we see a beauty, we should see this as a Krishna's energy and appreciate for that. We should appreciate that. And we serve someone. By serving, we become humble. Serving, we become humble. So we should try to serve others. This is something we sometimes miss out. But service to Vaishnava is such an important work, such an important activity, that it can take us back to God just by serving. It is so powerful. So how to build these habits? Association. Very important. We must associate with the devotees. We must have our accountability. Like all of you must be having sadhana chart, that what I am doing every day, how much I am reading, right? All of this, we have that. So how do we get that? We must fulfill our sadhana chart. It's important to do that. Then, regulated inputs. What is regulated inputs? We're eating only prasadam, right? Eating only prasadam, not watching mundane things on YouTube, on shorts and all that. We should be very careful on that. Yes, we will have a desire to watch something. Oh, we want to go for a movie. Okay, let's go and watch Narsimha Avatar. That's good, no problem, we can go there. So our desire to go in a movie theater and watch a movie is fulfilled. Something like that, right? And then purposeful study. I know some of you are doing IDC and then you're doing Bhakti Shastri, which is good. That's what we should do, purposeful study. Why I'm doing it, I want to understand the scripture. I want to go deeper into this. I want to understand the meaning, what is Krishna telling here. I want to implement that in my life. And doing seva. This is very important. Okay? So, our heart cannot stay empty. Our heart cannot stay empty. It will be occupied by something. Now, what you feel with it is our choice. So we have to feel with Krishna consciousness, and then this problem can go away. Prabhupada used to say in one of the purport, where he says that simply by hearing, even a child becomes pious. Simply by hearing. So, if you are miles away from this, then we should keep hearing more and more. Every day we should hear. At least Srila Prabhupada lecture or our Guru's, spiritual masters' lecture should be heard every day. Not a single day should pass where we have not heard anything. Because our sadhana chart will tell that where we are. Right? And devotee always want to give. But a demonic mentality wants to get. I want. We should be in a mood of giving, thinking that I have abundance. Even there are a lot of motivational speakers, they talk about the law of abundance. That you feel like I have too many things, I have a lot of things. You will have that. And Krishna has given enough to all of us, so why worry? So how to make this in our daily practice? So let me give you these 7 challenges. Okay? Anybody ready for this? Yes. Ready to implement, not just seeing it. I knew somebody will say yes, then I will catch on that. So this is like implementing this. This is up to you if you like it. This is my, whatever I feel, I just put it here. So what is first? Is that read those verses that we are discussing today. Okay? And underline every clue about the inner intention. What is our inner intention should be. So we understand what was the gopis' intentions. We understand that. Okay? So you can do this today. Tomorrow you can do this. Chant 1 extra round. How? Attentive. Important. We have to start with 1 attentive round. Means 1 full round, not 1 mantra, 1 full round. Attention. Sitting in a tulsi room, we can just chant very meditatively. No phone, nothing, no talking, just meditating on this mantra. Completely absorbed. Okay? Then we can do 2.59. If you read this word, this is a beautiful word which talks about the higher taste, how to develop higher taste. So these particular words and the purport is very beautiful. Please read this. It will help us in how to go to higher taste. Because normally people enjoy the taste, but if you want to give them a lower taste, then you need to offer something higher. So these words will teach us how to do that. Then replace your digital trigger with one bhakti input. So when you have a digital trigger, I want to pick up my phone, I have not seen for last half an hour, 30 minutes I have not seen. I must see so many messages would have come, I have to respond. If you have that, use some bhakti trigger, could be listening, go and do some kirtan, come and take darshan. Gopinathji is here all the time. Prabhupada is 24/7. Gopinathji sometime may go and take rest. Prabhupada is sitting there. Go and take darshan of Prabhupada. Darshane pavitra ko ei tumhara kaam. Just by seeing pure soul, we get purified. So we can do that. Right? So digital trigger, we have to avoid this. This is a very dangerous thing, at least in today's world. I also fall victim to this sometimes. So I have to be very careful. And then I am reminded by my good wife that, no, you are doing this, please focus. So I have to do that. Right? And similarly, we can offer one act of service without any recognition. Try to do some seva. I don't want recognition, I'll just do it. We can do that. No recognition required. And then here class about this particular topic. Topic means about desires from your spiritual master, from Srila Prabhupada, or any ISKCON devotee that you like or admire. I want to hear from him. Then hear this one class. It will change the perspective. And then honestly pray to Krishna. See, our prayers are also not honest. When you are praying, we have to be prayerful. Pray to Krishna. Krishna, I really want you. Not superficially. I really want you. Please help me purify myself. Please help me. We have to pray with a lot of intensity. Our prayers are also having no intensity. That's a problem. But yeah, we should have this prayerful mind. So in the end, let's talk about few things. So when our desires are centered on our own enjoyment, it becomes lust. That's what we have seen so far. But gopis are not doing that for that. Gopis are completely surrendered to Krishna. They are doing anything for the pleasure of Krishna only. They want to serve Krishna. They want to have Krishna as their husband so that they can serve Krishna, not enjoy with him. Please remember this. This is not about enjoying. This is about serving. We should all develop this attitude of serving to Krishna. Right? So, 3 final takeaway which we have here. Said Krishna does not ask us to become emotionally dead. Means we should not have emotion. That is not the case here. That's what we talked about. We can have feelings. It's very important to have feelings. Devotee is not a stone-hearted. Devotee's heart is like a butter, the freshly churned butter. It's very soft, having compassion, having emotions. We should not become a hard-hearted, because then we will disturb everybody else around us also. Okay? So this is very important to have that. Second is that the gopis does not have a selfish passion, but their desire is to purify the devotion. Their desire is full of purification. It's a purified desire. It is not lust. This should completely be taken out from our mind. And the practical path is hearing, chanting, serving. Right? And we have to put constant effort in attaching our mind to Krishna. See, many times, in one of the Japa talk I heard that, I think Japa talk by, Radheshyam Prabhuji, he was talking that when we are chanting, the mind goes. Mind will start wandering. As soon as we chant, then only it will remember the most important work in our life, which is other than chanting. I want to do this. Oh, this message has not gone. The class is in 30 minutes. I'm yet to send. Oh, I have forgot to tell them. I forgot to call. So many things will come. It happens, no problem. When Krishna will get pleased? When we bring our mind back to the japa. We will have a distraction, but we bring it back. And then Krishna gets pleased. So, these are the few things, and this is a suggestion of prayer. It just came to my mind, so we put it here. Right? We are requesting Krishna that purify our attraction. Our attraction goes here and there, but we want to bring it Krishna-centric attractions. That's what we are doing. So this particular chapter, we should not misunderstand that why this happened. Krishna is a Swarat, he is independent. And he is doing this to bring the devotees closer to him. He is doing this to fulfill the desire of the devotees. Krishna understands the desires and also understands the intention behind the desire, not just desire. Okay, so that's what it is. And we should always understand these kind of topics from the commentaries of Acharya, and that's the only way we can understand this. If the commentaries were not there, we will not understand this topic completely. Okay. So with that, we'll pause and see if anybody has any question or a comment or any correction. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. Is there no question? Oh, yes, Vivek.
Prabhu, you mentioned about us doing service not out of recognition, but to please Krishna. So what if you're able to observe that you're subtly expecting appreciation or recognition also out of a service, but you're also asked to do it. So should you reject that or say no to the service? Or should you do it anyway because you're assigned?
No, so if it is assigned, then it is our duty because we are in that service mood. We have to do that. But keep praying that I'm doing this, my seva, which is offered to me. I'm supposed to do this. This is my day-to-day work. But I still have a subtle desire in my heart to get pride, to get recognition. Somebody should tell me, oh, no, Vishesh Prabhu, you did wonderful. This is good. Like there is a recognition, expectation. We have to pray. And then it can be purified. That we are doing only for pleasing Krishna. Like it could be mopping, it could be cleaning, it could be taking garbage away from one place to another. It could be anything. Creating a poster and think that when people see, they should tell, wow, what a poster. It could be anything. Or we do a Mangala Aarti and we sing and say, Prabhu, why don't you just do Aarti all the day? This is beautiful. You sing so nicely. And suddenly pride comes, yeah, I should only do everybody singing horrible. That comes in our mind. It happens. It happens with people who have been in practice for 40 years, 50 years. Nobody is an exception. So, the only way to overcome is to be in the very prayerful mood. Before doing the seva, after doing the seva. And during the seva, we just absorb in the seva and say, I am doing this to please Krishna and nothing else. So that's how we can see.
I have another question if no one else.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is about, you were mentioning multiple times in this, how it is, bhakti is not about killing your personality, or there was another word you used, but not killing the personality, but actually purifying it. Personhood.
Yeah.
So, one thing is that because I used to meditate, I was following another means of spirituality, where the focus was to kill the personality, but I could see that it's not working.
Yeah.
So I found it very interesting that here actually something very tangible and doable is there. And there's a question out of that, because you said the devotee should have feelings. Your heart should be like a butter. Now when you're interacting with other devotees, especially with those of opposite gender, right, so, because you should have, your heart should be like melted butter, you're saying. So, we should appreciate everyone and feel good about everyone. But let's say the element of attraction can also kick in, because at least I am not a Goswami, I don't have control over my senses. So in that case, should one restrict their interactions, not restrict their interactions, but like in that case, should you also keep on having appreciations and those kind of things, and let the heart melt? Or should you stop it somehow? In that case, that would be suppression or something. That would not be according to what was in the slide. I don't know
Yeah.
if my question is.
No, I understand the sense of the question. So, when we are trying to appreciate, first of all, it should be genuine appreciate. Not just to feel that, yeah, other person should feel that, oh, you're doing it good, good. Or to enhance or increase our relation with that person. It should not be in that mood. So genuine appreciation, not to enhance our relation with that person. Second, especially when we are speaking with the opposite gender, one important guidance when we speak is that look into their eyes or look at that feet. Nowhere else, no other body part we should be seeing. It's very important. Only eyes or feet, nothing else. Then we can control the mind. Otherwise, it mentioned in the scripture, even if you have a wooden doll in our hand, we'll get agitated just by holding the wooden doll in our hand. The mind is like that. So we have to be very careful how we interact with the opposite gender. If we implement this, then slowly mind will come under control. But we keep telling our mind. So, yeah, we can appreciate, there is no problem with that. Our interaction should be only for that work, nothing beyond that. Not like gossiping, what happened, yeah. No, it's not. Then you talk to Jai Prabhu, no problem. But even then, I was just hearing one class today morning, in which it mentioned that the three senior devotees speaking, and they were not talking Krishna conscious talk. Okay? There's a devotee called Anand Vrindavan Prabhu in Mumbai. So he was mentioning, in that when there was his wife and then another devotee was there, and they were always talking. And it was not a very mundane topic, but like, the young boy was in a college, so they are talking about how is the college going, what studies, where you live, and all those things, which is not a pure Krishna conscious conversation. So he immediately went into the room and brought a counter, and he was just holding it like this. And while he was speaking, he was just. So that means even when we are talking, we should limit our discussion of mundane topics. Especially those who are definitely not in Krishna conscious line, we should simply stop that. We think about war, petrol price going high, all those things. It's too much. We have no control on that. Are we going to stop this war? No. It just agitates our mind and we think I did something great. I told them the war going on, the price has gone from 125 cents to 150 now. All this thing comes in our mind and we start thinking that the world is going to finish. This is how the mind works. So we should have this digital detox, that one day or few hours in a day I will not touch my phone. I will not go to this website. All these things. Then it can come under control. Otherwise it is very difficult. So some of the tips you can implement what we talk about today. Those 7 days, you can try and do that and see if it works. Okay, so I think we'll pause here. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataru